Welcome to the What's Up Already podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Mattson.
Charles, this one's for you. You may be the only one listening to this dog dumpster fire of a podcast today, you mother effer, requesting this piece of trash, garbage-ass movie that only had a DVD copy that it took us from one state in Arizona to get it to Utah. I happened to be visiting JJ, and that's how he spent the rest of my morning, is watching this garbage of a movie. This is the real Ginge.
And Alec Burgess.
I don't even know what to say after that, to be honest.
Oh, God. I just love that you couldn't even wait till after the intro.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Charles, thanks for buying our What's Our Verdict mug. Again, I really appreciate your fandom, but if you've listened to us and you know that when aspect ratios are changed, I watch this on JJ's giant TV. JJ, what is it, 85 inches, something, 90 inches? I don't know. What is
86.
it? 86. And I kid you not, we had significant 10-inch black bars we didn't have. And then for part of this movie, they did some story zoom in where we went down even further from the square to a rectangle. And we were probably using 35% of JJ's TV at that point in time. And thank goodness I was okay with it because, man, I didn't need to see more babies. But then it went back to the stupid aspect ratio. Yeah, man. Zach Snyder all over again.
With that said, this is a fan request. Charles, we appreciate you.
Do we?
Dude, Charles is awesome.
No. I love
we
Charles.
are doing Rubber now after I figured out that he wants that one as well.
That movie sounds better than this movie.
You haven't seen it.
Yeah, don't speak until you know what he's talking
about. Oh, man. Is it at least streamable?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, dude.
Charles, I did not commit to Rubber. That was Alec. I control what I commit to. So we'll see. But we did commit to this one, which I'm regretting. Well, it's done now, so I'm not necessarily regretting it. But anyway, thanks, Charles, for requesting Superbabies, Baby Geniuses 2. This movie was released in 2004, August 27th to be exact. Hey, tomorrow is the 18th anniversary of this.
What a time to watch this movie.
Yeah, so August 27th, 2004.
Alec, the best part is they can't, because our listeners are legal individuals and are not going to. This is not a movie to go pirate illegally and get a virus on your computer. It's not even worth it.
That's fair.
Send me your address. I'll mail it to you.
No, you won't. I have it, and it's being destroyed. And so, with that, it was written by Robert Grasmere and Francisca Matos. Sure. It was directed by Bob Clark. Sure. This is where I get confused. It stars Jon Voight, Vanessa Angel, Scott Baio, Skylar Shea, Justin Chatwin, Peter Wingfield, the Fitzgerald triplets, the Isles twins, Jared and Jordan Scheidemann. There's a lot of twins in here, in case you're wondering. That's how they got away with filming babies, because they can only work for a certain amount of time. So they find triplets and twins.
Is that a real thing? Oh, yeah. I didn't even know that.
That's why Big Daddy, they're twins that actually played the kid. Yeah, the Sprouse twins.
Well, at least, Charles, I learned something today.
Yeah. So that's most of the time, if you're seeing kids, especially very young kids in movies, they're twins.
Do you think we should credit the nannies and such that were on scene for all the poopy diapers?
I'm sure there's tons of them. Yeah, so this movie is a group of smart talking toddlers find themselves at the center of a media mogul's experiment to crack the code of baby talk. Toddlers must race against time for the sake of babies everywhere. I had this whole thought in my head today that I was thinking about recording this movie during certain times of the day, and I was going to rail on the 90s a little bit because I can do that because I was teenager through the most of the 90s. But this movie came out in 2004. So I can't even try to salvage the shit. It's just hot garbage. And I don't understand the fucking trend that we went through in the 90s and I guess the early 2000s of talking babies. Like, I get it. There was and I don't know if you guys have seen it. There was a movie way back that started this trend called Look Who's Talking.
Not gonna watch it now.
Let's watch it.
Well, here's the thing. So it was in 1989, and it had a fucking cast to it. Now keep in mind, it's the 89. So John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, Bruce Willis, Olympia Dukakis, George Segal. I mean, it's got some cast, and it's funny. It's a comedy. It's kind of funny. It has moments. But from that spawned this series of, so they did Look Who's Talking, then they did Look Who's Talking 2, TOO, which was fucking dumb, and just playing on the fact that Look Who's Talking was this surprise hit. And then they did, God forbid, Look Who's Talking Now, which involved the pets. And then you have things like Super Bud and all these 90s movies with babies that talk, because the original Superbabies or Baby Geniuses, whatever the shit you want to call this, was a 90s movie. And so, but my thing is like, I get why they made Look Who's Talking 2. It was clever. It was different. You hadn't seen anything like that. But like the whole trend that followed it, just because one movie did pretty good. Fuck, I hate Hollywood sometimes. Like,
So
fucking stop it.
15 years later, this was the last bookend of a series of horrible movies.
I don't think it was, actually. Like,
there was another Superbabies spinoff after this, right, JJ?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't think this was the last of the Superbabies.
So what I want to know, Charles, is, like, riddle me this. Charles, I wish you were here right now. I'm speaking out into the existences. Were you a small child, early teenager that just enjoyed this movie? Or I don't know why. Did you just want to hurt my feelings and just like want me to gouge
Charles
my eyes out?
doesn't like you. That's what it is, Mattson. Charles just doesn't like you.
That could be true.
I also need to ask Alec this. Alec, did you laugh at this movie multiple times?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't.
I did.
It laughed
No,
at
you
what?
didn't.
Hold up. For all that I make fun of JJ for, I will respect the man in this instance. I was sitting next to him, and I think JJ and I had one little and that was it. Even if I wasn't with JJ, it wouldn't have happened. I don't think if JJ was with me, it would have happened. I think we laughed because it was so poor that we needed some sort of, I don't know. Alec, I'm disappointed in you. JJ, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on. When he's throwing the paper airplanes,
No.
that was funny.
Not so much. Look, I don't even think I laughed at something because it was funny. I'm pretty sure I was laughing at the freaking kid, Kahuna. The freaking, like, doing, like, flips and shit out of this motorized baby stroller car thing.
Helicopter, don't forget.
Yeah, like, I think he did some sort of, like, spinning helicopter kick, like, out of the thing, and I was, like, laughing at how horrid it looked. And then on top of that, like, I'm laughing at the terrible CGI that was only bested by, I can only imagine the tedium of trying to get these toddlers to say and speak in a way that actually fit with words that they then voiced over top of. Like, I was watching it going, oh my God, it's not all CGI. Like, what would that have been like, trying to get these kids to actually say something that fit enough of a mouth look to voice over and have it look kind of like it fit?
Be a fucking nightmare is what it would
Dude, right?
The sound people, man, they are the real MVPs of this movie.
I will say, though, this was kind of, to me anyway, it felt like, I don't know, JJ, did you ever know, like those summer theater movies, right? Where you buy like the kids pass for $7.
Oh, yeah.
You go see on Tuesday. To me, this felt like that movie.
Yeah,
where they
that's
put it in
fair.
the theaters to keep the kids going to the summer. You have, Jon Voight. It's kind of the reason the parents would agree to go see it. But it had that kind of feel to it, that kind of summer movie vibe.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I
Doesn't
don't.
mean it was good, but
No.
it had that vibe to me where I was like, oh, I know. I think I know why they made this.
I just go see animated movies that are far, 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 far away better than this movie could ever attempt to be. This movie, we all know Benjamin Button, where you had the gosh, I'm forgetting the principal. That's the young kid that was old and got younger as he got older. This principal had the kid that drank the super serum out of a baby bottle that he didn't, thank goodness, didn't suck it out of the nipple. He spit the nipple off and then drank this like green supercharged drink that kept him forever frozen as what, like, I don't know, a 10-year-old, it looked like, something like that. And never aged, and he apparently was like 72 or something. And in shock, spoiler alert, everyone, Jon Voight's character, who's basically the reincarnation of some like German like weirdo or something, I don't know, is his brother. And they meet up like, what, 60, 50 years later or something dumb like that, and they duke it out. And who came up with that premise? And this poor little kid, they showed him like, and he was probably supposed to be like 17 or 18 playing baseball out in the crew, and he rocked a dinger over the fence, trotted around the baseball yard. No one cared about him. They didn't want to be friends with him. And you know why? Because he was freaking yoked, and he looked like he was 10. He was supposed to be 18. They should have made a movie about that, because it would have been better than Super Baby Geniuses.
That's the whole premise for this movie, Mattson.
Yeah, and no
Okay.
one cares, because his little hideaway, he surrounds himself with like creepy doll stuff and like horror carnival shiz, and I'm supposed to think it's some top secret hideout, and he's got a freaking little orphan stowed away that's like 17 now that he's saved. It's like, oh yeah, I work
He's
for.
got a lazy river in
Yeah.
his secret lair.
Yeah, whatever. Poor other kid that's just
dope.
been hiding away in here for like forever, and then he somehow immediately kisses the girl of his dreams. They don't
You
even go
gotta
on like
have a
date.
love story in
They
this.
it didn't even have time for a love story. They immediately kissed. Like, what happened to going on a
Have you
date?
seen a movie in the 90s, Mattson? There is no build-up.
It more than whatever.
I mean,
Don't
it is
give me-
fair. The 90s have some terrible love stories.
Don't even get me started on the Hideaway as well, where they drive into the Hollywood H. Then there's no definition into this. I don't even know how the Hideaway works. Like, doesn't make any sense.
I had to get up to let my dogs out in that moment, and they're driving into it. I'm like, are they really going into the Hollywood sign right now? Like, oh my
That's
god.
where I'd put a secret hideout.
Okay, so I have to share this with you because I have a for real question. I need to know who has dirt on Jon Voight, because not only was he in this one, and it's a completely different cast from the original Baby Geniuses. The original Baby Geniuses actually had a pretty ridiculous cast, which makes me think that it did okay despite itself. And again, we have like a look who's talking thing where they lean into it and try to, because I mean, it had Kathleen Turner, Christopher Lloyd, Kim Cattrall, I mean, Peter McNichol, Dom DeLuise, like it had a lot of people. But then you have this one, Baby Geniuses 2, and then Jon Voight's in it. There's, ready for this, Matt, so prepare yourself. There's Baby Geniuses 3,
No.
Baby Squad Investigators, which also has Jon Voight in it. There's Baby Geniuses 4 and the Baby Geniuses and the Treasures of Egypt, which, you guessed it, also has Jon Voight in it.
I'm
Wow.
thinking movie marathon, guys.
And finally, there's Baby Geniuses 5, Baby Geniuses and the Space Baby, which, you guessed it, also has Jon Voight. What did this man do?
Hey.
That someone can hold it over his head to
Look,
get him to be in these fucking movies.
I would understand if it was Michael Jackson that was in these sequels, but I don't know about Jon Voight. I don't know what's being said there, but I have no idea.
Well,
He has to be connected to someone who made it, right? Doing it.
I
as
mean,
a
he's
little bit of a
got to
favor.
be. But
'Cause
like,
his
it came out in
salary.
2014, dude. Like, Why are they still fucking making these movies?
There's clearly a market for it.
Oh, there's not, because on Rotten Tomatoes, out of 46 reviews, this movie has a 0% rating. 0. The audience score, I don't know, Alec, you must be one of them, at 24%.
Oh, God. This movie, okay, the movie we're talking about, part 2, cost $20 million to
Wait,
make.
what?
Yeah.
What did they pay for?
Jon Voight.
Jon Voight, and then the shitty mouth fucking CGI.
Oh my gosh!
And
Did they make that?
Fucking baby
Did they make
stroller.
that movie back? They had to have made enough if they made another.
No. So
No.
Opening weekend was 3.2 million, which is mind-boggling to me. But the total gross was 9.5 million worldwide.
So they lost 10 million.
They lost 10
and they
million
made
just
another one
in budget. That's
Jeez.
not any marketing, anything like that. So
Yeah.
most likely with a $20 million production budget, they probably lost more like 15 or 20 million.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So why make another?
I figured it out. Tax write-off.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's like any business, right? You're okay with certain amount of losses. I mean, there has to be some contractual stuff. Like one of the I mean, first it's Sony Pictures, so I don't have a high opinion
You've been
of
hurt
Sony.
bad, JJ.
Sony, fuck Sony. They're not quite as bad as Fox used to be, but fuck Sony. So it doesn't surprise me, but there has to be like a producer or someone that's got a contract that pushed it to where, you know, we'll make these movies even though we're going to take a fucking huge loss on it. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. It just doesn't make sense because it was fucking horrid. Horrid. And I still, like, every time I think about the fact that Jon Voight, who, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jon Voight has historically made some terrible movies, but he's also, when he's in his element and in a good movie, he's an amazing actor. So I don't trust him not to do bad movies, but this is like an all-time low. Like, my respect level for Jon Voight was, I understand why Angelina Jolie wants nothing to do with him. Like, I get it. He made Baby Geniuses 2, 3, 4, and 5. I wouldn't want to fucking talk to him either. It's bullshit. My dad made fucking 5 of these movies. I wouldn't want to talk to him either.
I'd parade him around.
Of course you would. It's because there's something wrong with you. Oh, God. You were broken. I love you. You're fucking broken.
Baby Geniuses 1 made 27 million. Wow.
Woo!
That's incredible. But it has a 2% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 24% audience score. So it just leaves you wondering.
I think you're reading into it too much, Mattson.
Charles, I need an email, dude. Like, look, you've emailed me a few times. We've read them. It's great. We appreciate it. But I know you sent this so that we'd shit on it because you like it when Mattson gets all worked up and I get fucking shitting on things. And now you have Alec who tries to defend.
Alec is going to get kicked. Alec's going to get kicked off this show because he's about to give this like a 3. And if he does, so help me.
What did I give Terminator 2, Mattson? Just for a reference point.
I think you didn't you give it a 3.5?
Okay. Just wanted to make sure before I give my rating.
Don't even go there. If you're alluding to some, it's my birthday for the listeners out there. I'm gonna let JJ finish, but I'm about to lose it. I'm gonna lose my shiz. I'm gonna lose it.
I will walk to Arizona and kick you in the balls
because this time, Alec, I got JJ on my side and he is in the same camp.
Dude, I don't even know how this fucking movie ends. It's been in my house for 2 weeks and I fell asleep with I don't know what 10 minutes left in the movie. And I woke up and went, I can't talk about the end of the movie because I slept through it. And I'll be goddamned if I'm fucking tormenting my PlayStation with this turd of a movie in it again.
Alec, how does this movie end? Because I've already have repressed this memory severely that I don't remember and don't want to.
Happily, what's his bucket? The main baby takes up Kahuna's mantle.
What happens to Kahuna?
Rides off into the sunset.
Forever gonna be a 8-year-old?
I think so.
That's no way to fucking live.
Well, he's got a calling, JJ, to help all babies everywhere.
Maybe he stops taking the serum and he starts growing and then he ages super fast and dies.
Hopefully he gets to live a little as an adult before that, because you're missing out on a few things. Just saying. That would be the worst. The worst. Yeah, you can hit home runs, but
We didn't even talk about this. If you're drinking some super serum and you're an 8-year-old, and you're super strong, you're probably just as strong as like a super, super strong, like 250-pound adult is the way I look at it. Like, you still get punched in the face as that baby Kura super ninja dude. You're going down. Like, or if someone just lays on you, you're still not going to be able to breathe because your freaking chest is going to cave in and you're not going to be able to do anything. So just sit on the mother effer. Like, that's all you got to do.
They can't catch him.
But he's out here.
You not watch the movie?
He's out here shin kicking people like a little turd, and that's all he's got going for himself, for punching people in the balls because it happens to be freaking baby toddler height. And like, come on, like, what are we doing here? And then don't even JJ, and I think laughed. This is where we laughed because his stupid little grappling hook thing he shot at one point, like launch into the wall, and we were both like, that ain't sticking, and he proceeds to go all the way up.
Yeah, it's like not even hanging on to anything. It's just sitting there, and I'm like, nope. Even his little 50-pound frame's not getting up that thing without it coming undone. But they spent so much on Jon Voight, they couldn't do a reshot where it actually caught him.
Yeah, you're like, what were they thinking?
It's terrible. Why are these movies made? Like, I do not fucking understand. And that's not just, so I'm broadening my statements here. Like, it's not just this movie, but any movie on this caliber, like this level of just horrifically terrible shit. How does it get made? Like, I don't understand why we spend millions of dollars. Do you realize the good you could do with the $20 million it costs to make this pile of shit movie? You did nothing but taint my life forever with this fucking pile of garbage. It's not even worth the fucking plastic the DVD's in.
Think of how many peaches you could can, Alec. Save the world, you're conspiracy food theorists, and you're out here being happy that the world spent $20 million on this stupid movie for us to change baby diapers. If you're about to tell me that you're giving this movie a 2.5 or a 3, so help me. I don't know what's going to happen, but we might have to replace you with Charles just so I can beat him up and get like a restraining order.
First of all, if I had $20 million, I would not be using it for good. I'd take over the world. So let's get that out of the way.
As Jon Voight's character is a laughable villain, yeah, you wouldn't get very far.
I'm a laughable villain. I'd be working from the shadows. Nobody's going to know who I am.
I would. I'd figure that shit out.
Yeah,
and I'd still find you and kick you in the balls for giving this movie a higher rating than it deserves.
That's the best of his face froze. That was
I cannot wait for the
good
TikTok
luck.
on that freeze.
I'm going to be hiding behind the Hollywood sign. You'll never look there.
Yeah, no shit. In a little square that only a friggin'
Look, I'll say this.
motorized
There's
baby
no
stroller
way,
can-
if I wasn't there to watch this with JJ, there's no way Casey's watching this movie. She would have given it like 30 seconds, said, I'm out. And she'd have gone upstairs and just, or in her room, whatever it is, and just be like, JJ, it's on you, dude. Peace out.
She wouldn't even have. Dude, she'd ask, what's the name of the movie? I'd have said Superbabies, and she'd be like, fuck you. That's exactly the response that would have had. Superbabies, fuck you. Go watch that shit in your office.
Did you watch this movie by yourself, Alec, or did you have like your 3 imaginary friends with you?
Or did Oshi watch it?
No, I watched it by myself.
I was going to say, because
Yes.
if you made Oshi watch it, you're lucky you woke up the next morning, because
Oh, yeah,
that's
she
the other
would've
thing.
killed me.
Casey, if she had watched 2 minutes of this, I'd have woke up down an appendage for the next morning. There's no fucking question
She'd have
about it.
stayed-
JJ wouldn't have had to walk to Arizona and kick me in the balls. Oh, she would have done it for you.
Yeah, exactly. What a
She would have
horrible
stabbed
movie.
you in the pen for, like Joe Pesci does in Casino. Murders you right there.
Man. Fucking movie.
What else is there to say about this dumpster fire? I mean, I've spewed on this in multiple angles. I don't know if I've got more until I'm just saving it up because I feel like I might explode again.
So I love I do love the fact that it was hilarious to me that Scott Baio and Vanessa Angel. So Jon Voight, I don't understand, but those two, I'm like, hey, those are 90s people that were famous for no fucking reason whatsoever. Like, no good reason. How about that? So Scott Baio of Charles in Charge fame, fuck off. He's awful. And then Vanessa Angel, who was famous because of a TV show in the 90s that was based on a great movie, Weird Science, also fucking terrible. Like, Weird Science is a fantastic movie. The TV show was garbage. But that's so I like seeing them in a movie like this. I'm like, oh yeah, you're still trying to get your paycheck because your fucking golden goose egg ran out. And
well,
suck,
90s acting and a lot of stuff, it makes you feel like you could walk on screen tomorrow, JJ, and start acting.
Well, I mean, they did. That's
Welcome to the 90s, Mattson.
Well, say the problem with a lot of the 90s, especially TV, like sitcom shit, there were so many sitcoms out there that if you had a pretty face or you played well, like you could be silly and kind of try to be funny, like you could find your way into fame through TV in the 90s. 90s was, for every good show, there were fucking 30 terrible shows.
Hey, and look,
which is true today, but
I'd sign myself up for if I could have been a terrible actor but made enough money. Like, don't get me wrong, the people that are doing it, do it. If you're getting paid to do it, like, go get it. Go get that bag, but we'll still hate you.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not judging you for doing it. I'm judging the world for allowing it to happen.
Still
like,
watching it enough. It's our fault at the end of the day.
Absolutely. No questions asked. And, when I was fucking 15, I watched Weird Science because I was 15 and Vanessa Angel was hot. And then I became an adult and went, what the fuck was I thinking? Oh, wait, that's right. I was 15 and she was hot.
You woke up from your marijuana stupor and realized that there's better things out there.
Exactly. And everything was a little better on marijuana. So
that's fair. Alec, let this be known when you rate this that remember how you had to access this movie. The world has passed judgment on Super Baby Geniuses 2. We were able to find this on any reputable streaming platform. And I dare say, even trying to find this legally, you probably had to do extra work comparatively speaking to any decently reputable movie out there. Let this be known. You had to go to like the only DVD store in your town to find this. Three.
Wow.
See, it's attitude though, Mattson. You say, wow, that sucks. I say treasure hunt. Huh?
I mean, it worked for the podcast, and we owed it to Charles to at least give it a whirl. But
we have spent 28 minutes too long on this. I am more than ready to rate this movie.
Oh, shit.
And I'm slightly worried.
Absolutely love it. All right, let's get this shit show over with. Alec, break our hearts. Fucking
I
gotta
go first.
You go first, dude.
You don't know how tempting it is just to absolutely review bomb this the other way that Mattson typically goes and just take this to the moon, because guess what? This is a movie I would watch with grandma. And we all know what my one criteria is.
Is your grandma dead?
5. Yeah, but I'd still watch it with her. If she was around, I would still watch it with her. So that's the one criteria that I have for being a 5, right?
Why
so
would
part
you
of
put
me
your grandma through that? Like, that's just cruel.
It would be entertaining. Grandma would just sit back, take a nap. Great.
I mean, it's true. It was good nap fodder. It got me there.
So you can see where the dilemma is with this, right? It's on the one hand, it meets all of my 5 criteria that I need to just completely, absolutely send this thing to the moon. However, I pride myself on my integrity, so I'm going to give it a 0.5.
Okay, thank God.
Thank goodness, because
I've been sweating balls the whole fucking review.
If we do rubber, though. If we do rubber.
Oh, God. we may not do rubber just for that. Sorry, Charles. Especially because you had a couple in your list that I actually wouldn't mind doing, but fucking runaway tires. I just don't know if I can handle that shit. All right, Mattson.
The question I have with this rating, though, is in seeing a movie like She Dies Tomorrow and things like this, in ways, Super Baby Geniuses 2 is like the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Where, like, She Dies Tomorrow, while it was one of the weirdest and most unexpected things I've seen, there still was, like, acting and there wasn't really any CGI in that movie, but it, like, still was a movie to an extent. Super Baby Geniuses 2 is horrible. Like, it's a 0. Like, I'm trying to talk myself into a 0.5, but it's horrible. It's just horrible. I'm giving it a 0. I've given it a 0. I've done it.
There it is. What did I give a 0 earlier this year for?
Did we?
Moonfall, I think. Moonfall, right?
Oh, JJ might have done that. That's right. You hated that
Moonfall.
thing.
That movie was a fucking
That's
turd.
right.
Okay, so here's my dilemma, conundrum, whatever the fuck you want to call it, with a movie like this. And when you talk about the comparison, because this was always something I was bound to do, Moonfall, so bad I even forgot the fucking name of the goddamn movie because I just want to wipe that from my memory. So we have Moonfall, we have She Dies Tomorrow, my 2 lowest scores. There's one other one in there, 2 or 3, another couple in there I gave 0.5s. But here's my problem. Those movies tried. Like, they advertised themselves as something that you should watch.
Okay.
I'd never even heard of fucking Superbabies or Baby Geniuses until Charles throws me an email. I get this email going, this is a fucking movie? And then I looked it up and went, God damn it. And then I went, fuck, we're going to have to watch it. And then we have. But at least going into a movie like Baby Geniuses 2, I know this. I don't even have, I just look at the cover art and I know this is a smoking pile of shit.
And it's even worse than it was, though.
I know, but at least I guarantee no one ever came out and advertised Baby Geniuses 2 going, it's the movie of 2004 right here. Make sure you come check this one out. This is meant for children to laugh at things that make no sense because it's other children being silly. So it's hard for me to compare it. With all that being said, to give the inference that I might score this higher, it's also a 0 for me. It's fucking garbage.
It's still so bad.
If I'm pushed and prodded to choose which movie to watch, I don't know if I can 100% say I would choose Moonfall over Superbabies, Baby Geniuses 2.
At least Super Baby Geniuses is shorter.
Yeah, it's only an hour and a half.
I think,
like I said, I know what I'm getting into. They weren't trying to make a blockbuster film like fucking Moonfall was.
I feel like I might watch She Dies Tomorrow over Super Baby Geniuses 2.
I believe that I would without, like, I think I can honestly say that I would watch She Dies Tomorrow over because She Dies Tomorrow at least had dolphin sex, which was very
I was about to say that.
But, or at least had the conversation about dolphin sex. It was so I can relate to the random dumbass conversation, whereas Baby Geniuses, I can't. But Moonfall's, I don't know that I'd watch Moonfall over Baby Geniuses too. Anyway, there it is. Hot garbage movie.
Thanks, Charles. Loved it.
Charles, no thank you for me, you piece of shiz.
Send us more.
We will review something that you have sent as well that I think will be slightly better than this movie, but I don't know what you're doing on the weekends, but your weekends must suck if you're watching this crap.
But we do appreciate you being a fan, listening, watching, interacting with us. If you guys have a movie, please God, nothing this bad. But if you have a movie that you'd like us to consider reviewing, we're almost 100% guaranteed. I have to change that. I used to say we were 100% guaranteed, but we've received a few from a couple of people that I'm like, no, we can't do that. It's just not worth the trying to be back. Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, because we'll get canceled.
Yeah, there are very few that we will not review, as you can tell. by this review. So please don't hesitate. Mattson, since we're talking about it, go ahead and tell them where they can do that and how else they can find us.
Look, you want to send us a movie review, send us an email at host@whatsourverdict.com. You can also check out our website at What's Our Verdict to see what's upcoming. As you know, tons of TV going out right now. She-Hulk. We're currently doing House of the Dragon, which is a Game of Thrones prequel. We're going to start up Andor here shortly, and then we're also going to be jumping into the Rings of Power here in like a week or two. Movie-wise, I can't think of a blockbuster that we're going to be watching for maybe in October, but we're going to do a lot of other like older school movies like we've been doing. I know you're not looking forward to Alec's recommendation. It might be in black and white, but we'll get there. We'll suffer through it. And check us out on TikTok if you want to see him throw shade at me or JJ or talk to Tigers.
Oh, shade is coming.
And you can listen to us wherever good podcasts can be found. Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. You know the drill. Drop us a like. We appreciate you listening and just appreciate all that our listeners do for us, and even you, Charles.
That's right. I'm still holding out hope just because there's really very few movies coming out soon that we might get Alec to watch Smile.
Good one. That's funny.
Yeah, that's
a good
funny.
joke. Good joke.
Hey, no, you can't. No way to know if I don't throw it out there.
If you watch Rubber and we put Rubber on the docket, I will watch Smile.
Dude, why would you do that? Well, now I have something to think about. There it is. Now I got something to think about. All right, well, there it is. There's our fan-requested review from Charles for Superbabies, Baby Geniuses 2. Fuck. With that being said, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Cinemagic out.
Whoa!